Welcome to Healing in His Hands, a space for healing, faith, and just honest conversations where I apply scripture to real life. I'm your host, Mariah, and I just want to thank you for being here. So, how are you guys doing? I hope everybody is doing well. I don't know about you. I mean, I talked to my sister today and she was telling me that the weather is still like it's actually in the hundreds for her and the Bay Area. So I was like, "Oh wow, okay. Well, here it's actually getting cold." So, again, looking forward to when the sun shines, but it's hit or miss here. So we just kind of take it when it comes. But yes, anyways, so today, we are going to finish the Faith Through the Fire series. Oh man, I'm excited. Um, it's just so crazy. It's been really, really encouraging just reading through the Book of Kings, First and Second Kings, just seeing what Elijah and Elisha, the prophets that were just able to, you know, encourage so many, produce miracles, and just really have their faith put in God. They were not weathering in any type of way. They just stayed consistent with his word, who he was, and just, man, everything he said, they just continue just to bring to light for others to see. And I loved it. I love reading through it. I love breaking it down with you guys. So if you have not already, please go back and listen to the other episodes. They were really good, and I hope that they encouraged you. But yeah, so today, we will go ahead and finish out. We are in Second Kings, and so it's towards the end, and I'm just gonna kind of summarize it a bit, because there's just some things that stood out to me as I read through the Book of Kings. But it's in chapter 13, and it's literally like Elisha's final prophecy. That's what it's titled. So it's really good, but I just want to go ahead and go down to the end of the chapter because it just talks about Elisha's bones, like the miracles, the things that they produce, like the way God used them in mighty ways, right? It just continued to inspire and encourage so many that they just encountered, and the people that they touched and healed and prophesied over. It's just, oh man, it's so just amazing to read through. And Elisha, when he passed away, he was buried in his own tomb. And when he passed away, there was a part it starts actually at verse 20 if you guys want to take the time to read through it, but I'm just going to um kind of summarize it. So there were a group of men, they had threw a corpse into Elisha's tomb. And as soon as the corpse touched Elisha's bones, the man was revived and came back to life. And it's just like, wow, like even until death, right? Elisha continued to produce the miracles. Elisha continued to do mighty things because God used him in such a way. So it's just so encouraging. It's like, man, the way God can use you, the way God can use you in such a way to encourage others, to pour life into others, to uplift others, right? To bring others out of dark pits. Just the way God can use you is such an amazing thing. And I love that. I loved how they ended it off with both of them, just Elijah and Elisha, both of them powerful endings as they leave this earth. And it just reminds me, just the power of just how God can use you in such a way. But to be more specific in this episode, I wanted to break down how God can use us as mothers. So if you are a mom, this episode is definitely for you. Or even if you are a spiritual mom, right? Like you pour into others, you are the mama bear to a lot of young women. This is for you as well. Or if you're that positive, encouraging friend that's always speaking to others, or you're just that spiritual leader, this is for you, right? Because man, so good. When I was reading through the Book of Kings, as I continue to read through, when you see how many kings, right? There were so many kings that we had throughout this time. And at the beginning, when they introduce the king, they talk about him. They also tell us who their mother was. And they also tell us right after. So, for example, so we'll just start in chapter 14. So it says, Amaziah, son of Joash, began to rule over Judah in the second year of the reign of King Joash of Israel. Amaziah was 25 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 29 years. His mother was Joadin from Jerusalem. Amaziah did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight. This is literally the introduction they give for every single king of this time. So every time there was a new king that stepped to the throne, they described him and they talked about who his mother was and if he did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight or if he did the complete opposite, right? And I just find that so fascinating. Because even as we're reading through this entire series, we've been just encouraged by Elisha, by Elijah, and what they've done and how they've produced miracles, how they encourage others, right? The way he uses us to pour into people, like the way, oh man, when they talk about it, his mother, and because of his mother, right? Like, I feel like they put this in the Bible specifically for a reason. They wouldn't have named his mother for no reason. You hear what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's power behind being a mom, being that spiritual mom for someone, being that leader for someone. I feel like there's so much power behind it, right? Because man, it's so hard to navigate life, especially when you're raising children in this world and how corrupt it can be, how crazy it can be and chaotic. But just understanding the power you hold because you are raising the next generation. Man, so I do not take this lightly. And just a simple fact, right? Me, like a children's ministry director, being able to pour into kids consistently, even at my job, right? I'm pouring into the kids around me. Me doing this means so much to me because I know the calling over my life and how important and significant my role is, what I am to do in this life, and it's to raise up the next generation, to continue to pour into the next generation, to encourage and uplift the next generation, no matter what household they come from, no matter what trauma they come from, no matter what they're walking through. I'm here to help them any way I can, the way God is calling me to do. So I find this it just really sinks so deep into my heart because it's so important to understand the calling we have as moms. Whew, man, it is a high calling, and just don't ever underestimate it because we're called to bring our children to the light. We are called to direct our children on the right path so they will not leave it. We are called to just bring our children up in such a way that honors God and that is pleasing in the Lord's sight. That is what we're called to do. And I feel like it's so important, like as they just mentioned it in every single introduction for every king, just talking about it, because at the end of the day, these kings were raised up by their mothers, right? Their mothers were the one that took care of them and nursed them and trained them up in a way. It was their mothers that did so. So it's like them to be able to specify their moms here holds weight. It holds weight for so many of us because that's our calling. That's our duty. That's what God calls us to do. When we have children, we are called to lift them up and raise them up to be mighty men and women of God. And I find that so important for us to do and just so important for us to understand as we continue to go through life because it can be so difficult. Like right now, like I'm dealing with my son. And he's been having so many issues just channeling his emotions, like just with being angry and being upset and just speaking out of anger and saying so many hurtful things. And it's been like, whoa, I'm trying to figure out what to do, how to navigate it. And I've just been constantly going to the Lord, like, help me. Help me, Lord. Help me understand what's going on with him. Help me to find the help I need, whether it's therapy, whether it's another spiritual leader of the church, whatever it is. God, help me to be able to navigate what I'm walking through right now with my son because it's so important and we walk through so much. So it's kind of crazy to just understand, like when you're reading this, right? Like their mother, you know what I mean, was the reason either they were doing what was pleasing in the Lord's sight or whether they did things that were not pleasing to the Lord, and I never want to raise my kids up to do things that are displeasing to the Lord. So it's like when my son is acting out or he's being full of anger and things and says hurtful things, I'm just like, Lord, please help me, right? Because I don't want this to happen, you know? So, but then on the other hand, right, I have my daughter. And my daughter, oh my gosh, like she just constantly, she's going through so much, like so much mentally. I mean, both of my kids, they have dealt with so much grief. They have dealt with three major losses within this last year, and it's been heavy. It has been heavy on their hearts, and I'm just seeing it come to front, you know, and my daughter's just even been admitting like just her fear she's been having of losing others, losing friends, losing her ex-boyfriend. She just broke up with her boyfriend because she was walking with this fear for so long, thinking she was going to lose him, and just causing so much just fear and anxiety over her body. She felt it was better to just break up with him just so she's not feeling this, so she can continue her walk with the Lord and just be more confident in her walk with God. And man, my daughter's 14, you guys, 14 years old. Like such a mature decision that she made on her own. And I am so proud of her, so proud. And I'm just like, wow, you know, so God gives me hope, right? And it's not a coincidence that both of my kids are walking through these different emotions at the same time, right? It's God's like, here. On the other hand, you have your daughter who understands her emotions. She's able to talk about them. She's able to describe them and how they make her feel. She's able to be mature about them and understand her importance of holding tight to the Lord. And then here we have my son who is the opposite, who is dealing with his emotions, not sure of how to control his emotions, but knows that he needs to and that he's trying his best, but he's having so much trouble, right? So it's like God's just encouraging me in the midst of this. He's like, hey, it's okay. Like, yes, you are dealing with this, but it gets better. You know what I mean? And that's just how I see it. So I'm just like continuing to pray to God, continuing to ask for direction, continuing to ask God to help me, partner with me to raise my children up to be mighty men and women of God, because that's the calling of our lives. That's the calling of us as mothers. That's the calling of us as leaders. That is the calling over our lives. And I feel like it's so important. So just reading through this and seeing that about how they specified in each introduction about who their mother was, I found that so fascinating. And it really just allows me to understand and be reminded of the calling and the importance of what God calls us to do daily. So it's just, man, super good. So, yeah, so I just want to encourage you guys with this. And I hope you guys love this series, enjoyed it. I hope it continues to encourage you, because this is what it means, right? To just have faith through the fire, not only for us, right? Not only for our own self, just our healing, for our grief journey, whatever you're walking through, right? Not even for us just to be strengthened or sharpened. It's also for our children, right? It's also for the next generation, so we can lead them in the right way, so we can raise them up, right? To be mighty men and women of God. Like, so read your word daily. Continue to just read your word, because there is so much wisdom here. There is so much help here. There is so much encouragement here. There is so much for you, to where you're able to just pour into yourself as you read, but also pour into your children, into the people that God is putting in your life, to pour into others. There is so much goodness as you read your word. So just be consistent in doing so. And man, just allow God to speak to you in those moments. So I hope you have that time to just read your word daily, because it's good. It's good. It's so enriching to the soul, and it will help you to continue just to pour into the people around you and into your loved ones and into your children. Because man, oh, this next generation, it's so important that we're doing our part, you know? So, but yes, so I hope you guys were so encouraged by this series. Um, Next episode, I'm not sure what it will be. It probably won't be a series, because as I've been just reading the Bible daily, I'm like, oh, this is good. Like things are just coming to mind, that Holy Spirit just continues to speak to me, and I just been writing it down in my notes. So stay tuned. There's going to be some good episodes. I'm looking forward to them, and I hope you are too. But yes, so I love you guys. Of course, we will end off with the healing in his hands declaration. So If you want to close your eyes, you are welcome to do so. If not, that's totally fine. But in his hands, I am healed. In his hands, I am restored. The same hands that have carried me through will continue to sustain me. I am safe. I am seen. I am held in his hands. One more time. In his hands, I am healed. In his hands, I am restored. The same hands that have carried me through will continue to sustain me. I am safe. I am seen. I am held in his hands. Well, I love you guys. I hope you guys just continue, just follow along with the episodes. And of course, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure just to like, subscribe, and just share with a friend. And hopefully they're encouraged as well. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, if you're listening on Amazon Music, Spotify, whatever, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this series. Let me know how it encouraged you, if it inspired you in any way, because I love to hear it. But yeah, so until next time, I love you guys. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.